Welcome to the Good Old Days of Radio Show, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. All the people who listen to this show on a regular basis, on a semi-regular basis, whatever. Happy New Year to you all. It's 2023, and we have a jam-packed year ahead of doing more and more of these things. I guess we have enough shows to last through 2023. We'll see, but we think so. Going to start off the new year with my favorite, Groucho Marx, an episode of You Bet Your Life from January 6th, 1954. That's as close to a New Year's show as I could get. The You Bet Your Life program was pre-recorded, so I don't know if they ever even referenced a New Year's program. But I thought, since I like Groucho, this is very popular with you guys who listen to the podcast. You like Groucho, so we'll start the new year with Groucho. How's that? January 6th, 1954, You Bet Your Life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is table, T-A-B-L-E.
Really?
You bet your life. It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, a comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The dealers who now have on display the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission and the all-new 1954 Plymouth, your best buy in the low-priced field. And now, here he is, the one, the only... Groucho!
Well, here I am again with $3,000 for one of our couples. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a student, Barbara Steele. Her partner is Miss Elizabeth Ryan. So, ladies, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Let's see, Barbara Steele and Elizabeth Ryan. Now, which is which?
I'm Barbara Steele.
I'm Elizabeth Ryan.
You're Elizabeth Ryan. Well, Barbara, I'll start with you. What is your hometown?
Well, I was born in Honolulu on the island of Oahu.
Oh. And may I ask your age?
20.
20, huh? Mm-hmm. Are you married?
No.
You're not married, huh? Why not?
I'm still looking.
Well, you can be looking and still be married, can't you?
Well, I don't think so.
No? Elizabeth Ryan, that name, where are you from originally, Elizabeth?
Well, I was born in Anaheim, but I lived I was brought up in Santa Monica.
Oh, you're a fine-looking woman, Elizabeth. Could you give us some idea of your age?
I think you and I might be just about the same age. How about that?
The subject is closed. Now, thank you not to bring it up again. Elizabeth, that's pretty formal for this show. You mind if I call you Liz?
Well, I'm not awfully keen about that.
About what?
Being called Liz.
What do you suggest I call you?
Bunny.
Bunny? You know, Bunny Ryan rings a kind of a bell. That's a very familiar, well-known name. Used to be a great tennis player by that name. Did you ever hear of her?
I knew her awfully well.
You did?
That's me.
That's you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a great honor for us to have you here, Bunny. I doubt if the small fry in our audience are familiar with your athletic achievements. So could you tell us some of the titles you've won over the years?
Let me think now. Wimbledon, of course, comes first.
Wimbledon. Huh?
That's the World Championship. I played quite a long time, so I managed to collect 19 World Championships.
Your house
Then?
must be full of tin cups, huh?
Then, let's see. Well, then, actually, I won the singles championship of about 10 countries, I think. Russia, for one.
Russia?
Yes.
They play tennis over there?
Yes, they did.
What do they use, meatballs for... Barbara, let's chat with you for a moment. Is tennis your game, too?
No, it isn't.
What is your racket?
Well, I'm studying opera, voice.
Opera? Well, that's a worse racket than tennis, isn't it?
No!
Are you a howling success at this?
Well,
Do you
no.
really sing opera?
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
You don't weigh 300 pounds.
Well,
Unless, of course, your cadenza is deceiving.
Mr. Marx, you don't have to weigh 300 pounds anymore to sing.
You don't?
Opera. No, sir.
Lady opera singers are paying more attention to the scales than they used to, I suppose, eh?
Oh, definitely.
Where do you do your studying?
At the Los Angeles Conservatory of Music and Arts.
Oh, that sounds very impressive, and I hope you're a big success someday. Now, Bunny, what are you doing now?
Well, I gave up teaching tennis, of course, which was my first love and always would be. So here I came back to the West, my own state, California. And what do you think I'm doing now? I'm selling real estate.
Real estate?
In Beverly Hills.
Oh,
Yes.
went from one racket to another. Well, now the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. All you have to do is win more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the big question later. All right, now you choose music as your category. Let's see how much money you can make. Now, you can pick any question from 10 to 100. Which question you want? A $10 one, 50, 80, 100?
Oh, we don't know which they are.
No. And I'm not going to tell you.
Let's.
They get increasingly difficult as you go along. How much?
The first one.
That you want the $10
Yes.
one? All right.
Mm-hmm.
This is a kind of a warm-up. You're
Yes.
just volleying now.
Yes,
Rallying.
all right. Rallying, yes.
What is the district or area in New York that is devoted to publishers and composers of popular music called?
We know that.
Tin Pan Alley.
Tin Pan Alley. That's right. Now you've got $10. Now, which question do you want?
Three then.
3, a $30 one.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Can't Help Loving That Man, Old Man River, and Make Believe are songs from the score of a great musical. What is the name of this book?
Showboat.
Showboat.
Showboat is right.
You now have $40.
Now, what question do you want to grab?
What do you think we're going to do? Take 5?
Let's try the fifth one.
All right, 5.
5.
A $50 one?
Yes.
What musical instrument does Isaac Stein play? Talk it over.
Piano.
No,
What's
violin.
Oh.
It's all right. You still have the other money. You
Yes,
haven't lost
you've kept
anything.
your $40
Yeah,
that you
all right.
had.
And also your dignity.
All right, thank you.
Now, which one do you want?
Now, in order to do well, we must take a hard one, mustn't we?
Well, you can take a $100 one, $40 one,
Should we
80,
take a
90.
$70 one?
Let's.
All
A
right,
$70 one.
Yes.
What do you call it when you pluck the strings of a violin with the fingers instead of using the bow?
You should know that.
I think you're both playing the bass line here, Bunny.
Yeah, I know.
Well, take a stab if you don't know.
Plucking it.
Pizzicato.
Oh.
Blunk, 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 blunk.
Oh, no.
Well,
You wind up with $40.
$40. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Sorry you didn't win. All right, George, who's next?
Well, Groucho, we have a drug salesman chosen by our studio audience, Mr. Frank Hops, and a housewife as his partner, Mrs. Louisa Daryabegi. And here they come. Folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Louisa Daryabegi, is that right?
Yes, that's right, Daryabegi.
I'd say that's a Czechoslovakian name. Is that true?
No, that's a Persian name.
Persian?
Persian, yeah.
I knew you had a Persian accent the minute you opened your mouth. When did you leave Persia to come to this country?
I've never been in Persia.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Holland.
Oh, well, that follows. Now start from scratch. Why do you have a Persian name if you were born in Holland?
I married a Persian boy about... I met him 2 years ago in San Francisco. And I married him a year ago in Los Angeles.
Well, how did a girl from Holland ever find a boy from Persia in a place like California?
Well, there was a party, and there were many Persian boys in
Oh, they had
in
a
San
party in
Francisco.
Frisco and they invited all the Persians?
Yeah, and then after about a week, then I got a
The
call.
party lasted a week?
No, the party lasted only one night. Long night.
A long night.
Yeah,
Well, you say, how long have you been in this country, Louisa?
3 years.
3 years. Are you still married?
Yes,
Are you happily married?
very happy.
What did you think of New Amsterdam when your ship landed there?
Isn't that New York?
New York. You mean they changed the name?
Yes!
When did they do that?
Oh, about 150 years ago.
Really? Well, I haven't been there in the last 100 years. How does it look now?
Well, it's very, very hurry.
Hurry, huh? Is that your impression of New York, Louisa?
Well, I think, yeah, it is a kind of that my impression.
That's the only thing you...
Before I left the boat, I had counted all my luggage, and I knew I had 6 pieces. And then I was thinking that I'm 41st. I never forget that moment anymore. What was Mother doing now in Amsterdam? What's Father doing now? Probably Mother's thinking about me now. And
you were standing on 41st Street and Broadway with 6 pieces of baggage, wondering what your mother was doing in Holland?
Yeah, but that's how it goes when you go by yourself to another country. And all I heard around me was all the time, ma'am, taxi, taxi, ma'am, taxi, ma'am, taxi. Oh, and I got so nervous. Terrible.
Well, most people are frightened when they first arrive in New York. I remember I cried for half an hour when I first arrived.
I did too. I was crying on 41st Street.
In my case, the doctor was holding me upside down at the time. And as soon as I found out my name was Julius, I cried all over again. Were you upside down when you were crying?
No, I was in the subway when I was
you
crying.
Were in the subway. Well, that's a good place to cry. Frank Hops, is that you? Frank
Yes,
Hops,
Groucho.
Are you still here? Huh?
Yes, I'm still here.
What sort of work do you do?
Well, I'm a medical detail man with the Stewart Company. I call on doctors to interest them in our medicines.
Stewart Company?
Yes.
What's the Stewart Company?
Well, the Stewart formula was our first and best-known product.
Oh, the Stewart formula? Oh,
Yes.
I've seen Jimmy Stewart in a lot of formula pictures. I'm curious to know how you operate. Pretend I'm a doctor and you come in to see me now. Go ahead. What do you do first?
Well, good morning, Dr. Marx.
This is in the afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Dr. Marx.
Oh, you got here too late. It's evening now.
Hi, Doc.
Okay, Frank, now what can I do for you?
Well, Dr. Marx, I wanted to acquaint you with our Stewart Normicid, which is a complete...
Well, I'm glad to meet you.
Well, this Stewart Normicid is a complete new approach to the...
Stewart what?
Normicid.
Normicid.
It's a hydrochloric acid product for subgastric acidity.
Oh, hydrochloric acid. Now, what does that do for you?
Well, a lot of people are deficient in hydrochloric acid, and this product releases it gradually over a period of an hour and a half time by the use of carboxymethylcellulose. That way it more closely parallels...
Okay, you get on the taxi with Louisa here. Louisa, I'm curious about one thing. Why did you come to America and marry a Persian? Why didn't you marry an American?
Well, I think I haven't got too much experience. And
you don't need any more experience for an American than you do for a Persian, huh? Have you ever been out on a date with an American boy?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
And?
Well, he was
happened?
kind of fast.
What do you mean? You couldn't catch him?
Well, he told me he would bring me home after Osburg Riding. He took me home. And then he didn't go home. He went to the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, that's
Well, maybe he lived on the bridge.
No.
At midnight.
No, I found out he did not. And I took the bus home. And I didn't ever see him
You took
anymore.
the bus home? Did you have the 6 suitcases with you at the time?
No.
You would dispose of these by this
This was
time.
7 months later.
Oh. Well, don't you think a Persian would try the same thing on the first date?
No, he did not.
He didn't.
No,
Did
he
take
was-
you to the bridge?
No, he took me right home. He was
did.
very charming and
what-
very gentle.
And then, when the time came for him to leave, what happened?
And then he said, Louisa, it was a very charming night, and I enjoyed it very much. And then he gave me a kiss right here on my forehead. Oh, that kiss
How do you
did
know
it.
he just wasn't nearsighted and missed the target?
Oh, I'm sure he did not, for he proved it later.
Frank, would you kiss a pretty girl on your first date?
Well, I think it depends on the girl.
Well, of
I'd
course
probably
it
kiss
does.
her.
But let's say the girl resembled Louisa.
Well, I very likely would.
And would you kiss her on the forehead?
Well, I don't think so. I always reserve a kiss on the forehead for my grandmother or something.
Frank, I'm proud of you. You're as American as blackstrap molasses. And I'm surprised both your eyes are in black and blue. Well, I'd like to continue talking to you two, but now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. Let's see how much money you can make. You selected sports.
In the race for the $3,000, Bunny Ryan and her partner won $40, and the secret word is table.
Now you have 10 questions. You can pick a $10 one, a 40, a 80, a 100. Now, what do you pick? And talk it over your partners.
Well, let's start out with a $70 one, see what
It's
happens.
Okay, the best trotters in the country meet annually at Goshen, New York. For what big harness race?
The Hamiltonian?
Yeah, try it.
You don't know, take
The
a guess.
Hamiltonian?
Hamiltonian is right.
Well, you're on your way. You have $70.
Now, which one do you want to pick?
Let's try 80. Sure.
Say, this guy is full of vitamins, isn't he? Eh? All right, George Mikan, or Mikan, M-I-K-A-N, is one of the all-time greats in what highly competitive sport?
Basketball.
Don't kiss her, just give her the answer.
Basketball.
Basketball is correct.
You now have $150.
Now, what question do you want?
90. Yeah.
Or 90. What collegiate football team is known as the Blue Devils?
Duke, I believe.
No, you see it? I don't know.
Blue Devils. I believe it's Duke.
Duke is right.
You now have $240.
Now, what do you want?
$100 one.
$100. Sir Thomas Lipton spent a fortune trying to win a famous yachting trophy. What is this celebrated cup?
I don't know. Sir Thomas what?
Lipman.
You don't know? Take a guess. Time's going. Well, it's the America's Cup. So that means
You wind up with $240.
not too bad. Thanks and
No.
good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth
Thank you. It
dealer.
was nice meeting you.
All right, George, who's next?
Well, Groucho, we have a businesswoman, Mrs. Tilly Lewis, and her partner has an unusual hobby. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day.
Window.
Lamont Topper and Tilly Lewis, eh?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fenwick.
Where are you from, Tilly?
Well, I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Was this before the World Series or after the World Series?
Well, it was before the World Series.
You say you're a businesswoman?
Yes,
What kind
I
of a
am.
business do you have, Tilly? A tea room or a lending library?
Well, I happen to be president and chairman of the board of a $20 million business.
A $20 million business?
Yes.
Tilly, I realize this is pretty abrupt, but I'm in a hurry. Will you marry me?
Well, I can't, Groucho, because I'm already married.
I'll have him arrested. He jumped my claim. Now, think it over, Till. I'll get back to you in a minute. Now, let's see. You're Lamont Topper? That's a pretty Tony name.
Yes,
isn't it?
sir.
You have a very familiar face, Mr. Topper. That is your face, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my face.
I've seen you someplace. Where are you from originally?
Leavenworth, Kansas.
You're from Leavenworth.
That's right.
Well, that explains why your face is familiar. Tilly, let's get back to you. Have you thought over my proposal of marriage?
Well, as I told you before, I'm already married, and then there's another obstacle. I happen
Me,
to...
you mean?
No, I love my husband.
Oh. What kind of business are you in, Tilly? I'll
What-
call you Till, huh?
All right,
You have
please
$20
do.
million. You must have that in the till. I'll just call you. What kind of
I'm
business are you in?
I'm in the canning business, you see. I'm
Canning business?
That's right.
I don't understand. Just what do you mean by the canning business? You cancel acts that are not good?
No, we can fruits and vegetables.
Oh. How did you get started with this outfit? You start with one can and then you
No,
elaborated on this?
I was in Italy, and I saw a pear-shaped tomato called pomodoro.
Oh, I used to have a pear-shaped tomato in Italy myself. She was an opera singer with the La Scala. Well, go on with your story.
Well, I borrowed $10,000, and I went
From
to
this pear-shaped tomato?
That's absolutely right. And I went to California. And
Who did you
stuff.
find in Italy with $10,000, Tilly?
Well, I found a canner there that was exporting these Italian tomatoes.
Oh.
And I induced him to lend me $10,000 and to go to California and start the pear-shaped tomato business in California.
And it's been very successful, huh?
Well, yes, it has been, really.
Well, Lamont, as you've been standing there, I've been studying you. I want to, as you're weaving back and forth in front of that microphone, I want to ask you one question. Haven't I seen you in our audience every week for the last 7 years?
Well, yes, you have, Groucho. I've attended nearly every one of your shows.
Why do you pick on this show? Do you really enjoy it that much?
Well, sure. It's the best. It's the best show in town, and besides, I have no other place to go.
Well, as a matter of fact, I haven't either. How do you manage to get in here every week? Do you dig your own tunnels through the floor?
Well,
I can't even get enough tickets to take care of my friends.
Well,
as
I'll
few as
tell
they
you-
are.
Well, if I see 3 of my friends coming down the street, I know that they've got 4 tickets because the tickets come in pairs, see?
Oh.
And then I get them to give me a ticket, they being friends of mine. And then if I see one friend of mine coming down the street, I know he's got 2 tickets, so I get him to give me one of them. So then I don't miss the best show in town, see?
That's very shrewd, isn't it?
That's very sure. Yeah.
How many shows do you go to every week?
40, but I cut it down to 20 lately.
You must know all the jokes, don't you?
No, I don't know all the jokes.
Do you ever
because-
hear anything new?
Oh, sure. I hear new jokes every time I come to your program.
Is that so?
I sure do.
I wish I did, huh? Are you what they call a professional contestant?
No.
Or what are you, Lamont?
Well, I'm just. That's just my hobby. It's my hobby to go to radio shows and enjoy them, and
You like the murderer going back to the scene of the crime.
that's right.
Could you tell our listeners what a professional contestant
Well, a
is?
professional contestant is one who reads all the newspapers and goes and reads all the encyclopedias and attends all the participation shows with the view of trying to win whatever money they can.
Well, how many newspapers do you read in a day, Lamont?
All of them.
You go to the library and read the encyclopedia?
Why, sure. I spend at least 15 hours a week. That's another hobby of mine. You go and spend at least 15 hours a week in the library reading encyclopedia.
In spite of all this, you're not a professional, though, huh?
No, just an amateur.
Well, when you're not going on radio and television shows, what do you do for entertainment? Do you go down to the bakery and smell hot bread?
No, I go to, now in the summertime, I take bus rides and get
In the
on the
summer
shady
you-
side,
just a
shady
moment,
side of the bus.
Just a moment. In the summer, you take bus rides?
And I can go for 4 hours on 2 fares, see? It's safe for me to go
What
back
else do
and
you
say
like to do besides riding on the bus?
Well, I go to Keno shows at night and have a chance of winning $1 to $100, and I see your shows all the time there. I see, and I enjoy them very much.
Keno? You see me on Keno?
No, on Keno, on the shows where you pay 30 to 40 cents, and you have a chance of winning to $1 to $100, and I see some of your old shows like Monkey Business and
Oh, the old
and
movies,
I
you
go
mean.
on a day at the races and all those, and I
They
enjoy
have to
them very
have
much.
Keno in order to suck the people into the theater.
Well, that's the only way they can pack them in.
You're very flattering, I must say. Well, the time is about run out for conversation. Now, let's see if you both can make a lot of money tonight. You're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the big question later.
In the race for the $3,000, Mrs. Darya Beji and her partner are leading with $240.
All right, now pick any question from 10 to 100.
$100.
All right.
All right. Victoria Falls, one of the largest in the world, are in what African river?
Zambezi.
Zambezi is right.
You're on your way with $100.
This kid hasn't spent all his time at Keno, huh? Zambezi, I bet there isn't a man alive except him that knows it. Aren't you ashamed of yourself taking all that money? What question are you going to take now?
The $90. The ninth question. How much is that?
$90.
$90.
What is the name of the mountain range separating France and Spain?
Pyrenees.
Pyrenees is right.
You now have $190.
Say, I'm going to partners with him. You get over here and ask the question. What a racket they got. All right, I presume you want the $80 one now.
Yeah, that's right.
This is the last bus ride you take, huh? What is the largest city in Switzerland?
Zurich.
Oh, boy, that's right.
now have $270.
All right, now you want the $60
No,
one.
the 70.
Oh, the 71.
Oh, we've got to.
All right, who owns the Virgin Islands?
The United States.
United States is right.
Well, you've gone all the way. You wind up with $340.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Huh?
And that means, Groucho, that Mrs. Lewis and Mr. Tupper, the people who were just here, with their $340 in just 1 minute, get a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question.
Say, George, how are the Groucho Special used cars doing?
Oh, great, Groucho.
Really?
You bet your life. Folks are really finding out that the Groucho Specials are the best used car buys in town. They've discovered that the Groucho Special sticker is a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's way of pointing out his really good, top-value used cars.
Isn't it hard to drive with that sticker right in the middle of the windshield?
Well, no car with this sticker on it, Groucho, is hard to drive. Folks, remember the DeSoto Plymouth dealers get a lot of wonderful cars as trade-ins on the distinguished new DeSotos and Plymouths. They're all fine, dependable cars, priced to fit the budget. Only a few are Groucho Specials, though, because the DeSoto Plymouth dealers are mighty particular. They only put this Groucho Special sticker on the very best, absolutely top-value cars. There just aren't many cars that deserve to be called Groucho Specials.
Naturally not. Look whose picture is on them. I'm hardly worthy of the name Groucho myself.
Folks, stop in and see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer soon. Look over his wonderful stock of fine used cars. Ask about his easy credit terms. Keep a special eye out for the outstanding used car buys of the day. The Groucho Special used cars.
Yes, and when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you.
And here's the winning couple, Mrs. Lewis and Mr. Tupper, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question.
All right, here we go for $3,000. Give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. Alfred Tennyson wrote a poem about a shipwrecked seaman who returns home to find his wife happily married to another. The name of the poem and the name of the seaman is the same. For $3,000, what is it? Talk it over.
Ancient Mariner, isn't it? Ancient Mariner.
All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Silas Marner.
No, you're flirting with her, but it's Enoch Arden. I'm sorry. That means the big question next week will be worth $3,500. Well, they lost the big money, but how much did they win, George?
Well, they went all the way in the quiz with $340.
Well, that's not too bad. Thanks and good luck.
Thank you very much.
From the DeSoto Plymouth dealer, sorry you didn't win the big money.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $3,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto Automatic.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. When you're driving, slow down at sundown. You Bet Your Life. Transcribed from Hollywood is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world.
Okay, from January 6, 1954, You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx. Does anybody listening to this podcast have one of those Groucho special stickers from their car? Is that possible? Is there still one of those out there? I don't have one. I have a great big banner in the other room of my building where I'm sitting here. I have a great big banner all rolled up that they used to have at the car lots with Groucho's picture on it, and it says something to the effect of get your DeSoto Plymouth cars here and tell them Groucho sent you. That's a really cute-looking banner. It's huge, but I would like to know if anybody has an actual one of those stickers. That would be good to have. It'd be small. It'd be easier to display than my big banner that I can't display. So anyway, all right. I guess that's it for this time. We'll be back next Tuesday with more drama, variety, and comedy. And we'll be back on Thursday with more artificial intelligence. We're still winding our way through these great science fiction shows related to artificial intelligence. And we have a few more for you before we wrap up that series. So again, Happy New Year to everybody, and we will see you next week.